How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Vegan News. Let's dive right in. It's 5 o'clock. We're going to be doing this every day at 5 o'clock Eastern U.S. Standard Time. Let's get going. So, one of the first stories I have is... But get down. Sorry. One of the first stories we have is a Japanese correspondent of mine on Facebook posted, he's obviously a vegan. There are shops, Yahoo has shops in Japan where they actually sell merchandise, groceries, and meat. And one of the meats on there being sold under these Yahoo shops is actually dog meat being sold in Japan. I have a link down below to it. He also created a petition with change.org, which will be our petition of the day. We're going to have a petition every day to help support whatever is some bad thing happening. So the petition of the day will be down below, and it's going to relate to the what's it say? The Japanese Yahoo vegan dog meat being sold. Now, it could be said that it's a little speciesist to focus on that because they're obviously selling lots of other kinds of meats, but I think it's important because we can use this as a way to get into... Boba, get down. Down off the light. We can use this... Excuse me. We can use this as a way to get into the heads of non-vegans because they have that delineating line, you know, in their head, the cognitive dissonance. They draw the line with dogs and cats as opposed to cows, fish, or whatever other animals. So that's why I'm featuring it, and I think it's really important. It hasn't... I've checked... I've gone online and I've looked really heavily, and I have not seen one single media outlet anywhere, at least in the U.S. I don't know. I can't get other stuff really, but I haven't seen anyone talk about this at all, and it's new, fresh news. So hopefully we can make this public and get it to break in a more mainstream way. That would be really cool, and it would be certainly helpful for at the very least the dogs, and maybe it would help some people think. Some non-vegans think about that line, and maybe we can move it a little bit. Okay, so next up, I've got newscientist.com, and links will be down below for every single story I have. I will link down below so you can read them and fact check and all that good stuff. And I do my best to go through and check everything to make sure it's factual. I check their sources. I do the best I can, and I always will. This is meant to be a neutral news source for you, and a way for you to point non-vegans to actual information. So, newscientist.com is reporting antibiotic resistance will hit a terrible high in 2017. And they go into, in the article, about all the different drug resistances from, you know, the different types of antibiotics they're using, including a newer one, which I had the name set aside, but the article is being kind of funny, and my cat is attacking the window. So it's really great to see that in the mainstream, that people are being concerned about antibiotic resistance, and it's because of our consumption of animals and fattening them up with this, and the EU is actually moving to try and make it illegal to do this. And once they do that, prices of meat are going to go up, so they're going to have to try and ask for government subsidies, and that's when we can cut in and have an influence on people. And I think initially the government moves slow. So when this happens in the EU, and it looks like it probably will happen, the prices of people's meat and dairy and eggs are going to go up, and they're not going to pay for them. At least the majority of people aren't. They're going to go for something cheaper, or they're going to experiment a little bit. And we're going to be able to get our foot in there a little bit. So this is a good thing to keep an eye on, and I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. And it's really interesting to see the concern from non-vegans with these types of issues. And it's really coming into the mainstream now. I mean, that's why you see so much of the humane meat stuff, which is obviously a lie, and organics and non-hormone mammary fluid milks, even though they're made of hormones naturally. They're just make any sense. It's just the cognitive dissonance. But all right, let's move along to some food news. We've got Miyoko's vegan butter is coming out at Trader Joe's. So yes, so it's Miyoko's, everything Miyoko's makes. She does an incredible job. It's delicious, super amazing, and Trader Joe's is super cheap. So we can expect something for a couple dollars, and it's also palm oil free for those of you who have concerns about that. That's a whole different discussion. We don't get into that here, but it is palm oil free, and it will be out in 226 stores across the United States. It's going to be, the first one is going to be a European style cultured vegan butter. It's cashew milk based. They use organic coconut oil, and that sounds like it's about it. But it sounds like they're going to have, it's going to be $4.99 per 8-ounce package. So that's not that bad. That's about the same price as, say, the Earth Balance I get. There's two different types of Earth Balance. Sometimes they run out and I have to buy the more expensive ones. I think the more expensive one is the organic non-GMO one, and then the other one is, it is GMO, and it doesn't, I don't know. I just buy what I have because I live in a very rural area, and beggars can't be choosers here in Pennsylvania. But it's gonna be at 226 Trader Joe's locations all throughout the United States: Utah, California, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, Idaho, and Nevada to start. So that is exciting. And we'll move on to Fort Worth police officers hand out Tofurky dinners in combination with PETA. PETA donated the Tofurky roasts. I'm assuming they're the kind with the stuffing in the middle, but they might not be. It looks like they are from the pictures. Again, articles will be linked down below, so you can read all this for yourself or watch the video. They actually have a video here. But they gave it out to hungry families. They teamed with the police. I think this is really awesome that the police department teamed up with PETA. They didn't have to do that, and I'm sure they got some crap for it. Amongst us vegans, there is some controversy with PETA, but they do good as well. They have, me personally, I don't like their stance on, their breed specific, their 4 breed specific legislation for killing pit bulls and killing feral cats. So those are 2 positions I take against them, and that are very bad. But in this case, they did a really great thing, and a bunch of families are going to get to eat, and they're going to get to see that a vegan Christmas dinner is just the same. It's all about the plant seasonings and a little bit of the texture, and the Tofurky roasts aren't that bad. Gardein are better, but it's a good thing. It's awesome. It makes me happy to see something like that actually happening. Actually coming about and helping both humans and the animals together. It's the way activism should be done, and it's a good way for us to get through to people. I mean, food is always a great way to dive right into the core of a human. I mean, it's something we have to have on a regular basis, every day, all the time. And if you can crack somebody's taste buds, you can hook them in with the rest. And I tell people that all the time. I've cooked for a lot of friends and convinced a lot of friends to get on at least a plant-based diet most of the time. They may not always turn vegan right away. That can take time, but it's pretty cool. So next story will be about the dairy industry, at least here in the U.S. I know I've seen articles in Australia and in Europe, is tanking big time. Big time tanking. And farmers are freaking out. The dairy industry is collapsing. And come on. We all got to laugh about it. We love it. Every time we see the articles, we're all sharing them like crazy all over in every single group. And we're just celebrating for good reason, obviously. But it's incredible, and I mean, they're just losing millions and millions of dollars. This is a Yahoo Finance article that just came out. This is mainstream media. This is the Dairy Council complaining, the Vermont Dairy Council. This is, who else here is freaking out? The FDA is talking about this stuff, you know, and they're talking about how it's not going to be long before plant-based milks are outselling the bovine mammary fluid-based milks. And that none of us could have thought that even just a couple, 2-3 years ago. But veganism is moving at a breakneck pace, and we're seeing proof and evidence of it everywhere. I mean, even in a rural area like where I live, you go to the grocery store aisle and there's 5 or 6 different plant-based milks now. When before all I had was a rice milk, which was horrible, tasted like milky, dirty water. And now we've got pea-based milks and flaxseed-based milks. It's really cool. This is a great sign of things to come. Makes me happy. They say here, total fluid milk sales have hit a 40-year low. There's been a 9% decline in mammary fluid. They are not saying that. I am. Based milk in the last 5 years alone. I don't think. Apparently the Nielsen company is doing data on this. I had no idea they tracked almond milk, but apparently the company that tracks the cable TV shows tracks almond milk. They have seen in the last 5 years almond milk sales have grown 250,000 I'm sorry, I got a little excited. 250% in the last 5 years, while total milk market has shrunk more than $1 billion during the same period. So we're going up, they're going down, and it is crazy. They go into a little bit of, oh, we don't know if it's because of veganism in here. Like, they're like downplaying it heavily. Of course they are. They've got to do that, right? I mean, God forbid they throw us a vegan bone, a stick, I don't know. This article is incredible. I really enjoyed reading it. It will make you smile the entire time, especially if you think about the baby calves and what happens to them, poor little buggers. It's a darn shame, it really is. But this is a great sign. This is very good news, and maybe in the next 5 years, I mean, another 5 years could absolutely destroy the dairy industry. And it's not going to take that much to cripple them, because they're already subsidized as it is. They can't be subsidized that much more. The entire meat and dairy industry, as I'm sure many of you vegans know, is subsidized, and that's the only way it can function as it does. It would not be as cheap as it is if it wasn't subsidized. So we're going to see a pretty interesting turn of events here in the next few years. And the fact that vegan milks and cheeses and other things are standing 100% on their own, no subsidies at all, and we're paying the premium. We really are. But it's not that bad. You know, it really isn't that bad. The fact that we're doing it without subsidies is a business model that larger corporations, they're not going to have a choice eventually. They're going to have to move towards another type of product to produce, and they might as well do what they know and do milk and switch their brand name over to a dairy-free milk. So it's awesome. Next story up is a super funny story, actually. So it's apparently cat owners might be more into bondage and BDSM than everyone else, and they've got this picture here of somebody in a gimp suit, latex gimp suit. It's with handcuffs and cats all around. It's a funny picture, but supposedly 50% of us, 51% of us cat owners are into sexual submission, BDSM, all kinds of stuff they're saying here from this study. It's pretty interesting, pretty funny. You know, me personally, it's not my thing, but hey, I mean, if that's your thing and you're into it, you might be able to find more people you have that in common with if you look for fellow cat people. I don't want to say cat owners. I certainly don't own my cat. If anything, he owns me. But it was a funny story. It gave me a good laugh. I certainly laughed a great deal about it. But those are the major stories I've seen popping up. And like I said, the Japanese dog meat sales being sold online on Yahoo, we could certainly get some pressure on Yahoo. They are a public company and they don't want a bad image. And if that leaks in the U.S., that's gonna have a big impact on them. And I think we can do something about that. So links down below to everything. Feel free to share this video with your friends. Like, subscribe. We need it. We just got started. This is the first one. And every day at 5 o'clock, that's my promise to you. I will hit the publish button on YouTube as long as my internet is okay. And also, you can visit our Facebook page. I'll link that down below too. And I really appreciate it if you would send me any news stories you come across, vegan-related news stories or environmental. That's all that's all vegan too. You can kind of judge for yourself what you think is vegan-based. And I would love to feature it. My goal is to have everything. Excuse me. To be a way to be an outlet for you to get all the information instead of getting it through a Facebook post, a Twitter post, an Instagram post, Snapchat, Facebook groups. We need to get all of our information in one place, and that's what I'm looking to do here. It was something that frustrated me for a long time. I didn't understand why nobody was really doing it too much, but here I am. I'll do the best I can every single day, and every day I will be up at 5 o'clock, or I'll post at 5 o'clock on YouTube here. That's about it, I think. Thank you very much for watching, and like, subscribe, and what are you doing, Boba? Get out of there. All right, see you guys later.